Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. Oh, I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. What this life is about. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love and it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love and it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love and it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Woo! Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors and let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Welcome to Unity Comox Valley. Welcome to the celebration service. Thank you for being part of this spiritual community. Thank you for being willing to step into your full divine potential. Our third unity principle says that where we put our attention and our focus and our feelings has an impact on how we experience our lives. And so before we go into our opening prayer, I invite you to bring to mind a word of something that you would like to see more of in your day, just for today. It could be clarity, or peace, or faith, or strength. Just give you a moment now to bring that. What is the light that you want shining on your path today? And let's bring that into our opening prayer. We acknowledge the one presence, the one love, the one power that is all around us, in us, and is acting through us. It is our true nature, it is our divine identity. And as spiritual beings, we can access that divine potential within us. We can choose where we want to focus our attention. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is happening around us, we can call forth a higher power, a higher understanding, a higher knowing to guide us and surround us and support us. And so we see the word, the light that you have selected for today Just feel that, how that feels when we immerse ourselves in that. We feel stronger, more capable, more loving. And we know that as we bring that forth into the world, that we are contributing to the well-being of all life on this planet. And we are part of this all life. And so this intention supports us, holds us to the path with confidence, with light, with delight. So we are grateful for this knowing, we are grateful for this understanding. We're stepping into our willingness to be more, to show up in a bigger and brighter way in our world. And for this we give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Heather, and I'm going to read the daily word for today, Sunday, November the 1st, 2020. Remember, I bless the people whose lives have touched mine. Grandparents, parents, siblings, members of my extended family, teachers, friends, co-workers, every person I've known has, by his or her example, helped me feel more deeply what it means to be human. Some have encouraged my curiosity. Some have taught me life skills. Some have modeled positive attitudes and behaviors. Some have loved me fully and unselfishly. And some have helped me learn to love even when loving felt difficult. Today I remember the people whose lives have touched mine. I pause to think kindly of each one as I savor memories of time we spent together. Whether we're still in one another's lives, have lost touch, or are separated by death, I know the experiences we have shared continue to enrich our lives and deeply bless us on our spiritual journeys. And the reading is from Romans 1 verse 9. I remember you always in my prayers.
Hi. As you can see, our November and December daily words have arrived. They are in the Spiritual Center right now, as well as our Unity magazines for November and December. You can come down to the Spiritual Center on Monday, November 2nd, from 1 till 3, and I'll be there, and you can purchase your daily word and or your Unity magazine. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
We are one with all creation. Endless are our possibilities. Wake up and join the celebration. Everyone's welcome in this community. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate peace and harmony. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate
Today is the second in a 5-part series. We're having a look at what Unity was up to 100 years ago, and then seeing how that is showing up in 2020. It has a big impact on how we live and what we know, and really what a lot of people are talking about these days. Just had its really seed beginnings around the turn of the last century. As I mentioned last week, in this time period, about 1890 to 1920, there was many people that were really questioning their church and the dogma and the structure and the teachings. And they, were perhaps understandably so, not so thrilled with hearing the message every week that that they were sinners and that they needed to redeem themselves and they needed to be good, so that God would smile on them and things like that. In this time period, there arose a swell of courageous people who stood up and spoke quite eloquently and loudly about their thoughts about this, about how they thought they could have a direct experience of God, and that the God that they had come to know was not true, was not real for them, and what was. And they began to question that at a very, very deep level. Dr. Emily Cady was one of these people, and she said this in 1903. When you have done any piece of work incorrectly, the first step toward getting it right is to undo the wrong and begin again from that point. Well, as a knitter, I know that is very true. You just have to take out what's not right, and then you just start again. She says, we have believed wrong about God and about ourselves. We have believed that God was angry with us and that we were sinners who ought to be afraid of him. We have believed that sickness and poverty and other troubles are evil things put here by that same God. We have believed that we have pleased God best when we become so absolutely subdued by our troubles as to be patiently submissive to them all, not even trying to rise out of them or to overcome them. All this is false, entirely false. And the first step toward freeing ourselves from our troubles is to get rid of our erroneous beliefs about God and about ourselves. So instead of looking at ourselves as lowly, flawed human beings, she presents this picture. This is from the book Lessons in Truth. Imagine, if you will, a great reservoir, out of which lead innumerable small rivulets or channels. At its farther end, each channel opens out into a small fountain. This fountain is not only being continually filled and replenished from the reservoir, but is itself a radiating center from which it gives out in all directions that which it receives, so that all who come within its radius are refreshed and blessed. This is our relation with God. Each one of us is a radiating center. Each one is the little fountain at the far end of the channel, the other end of which leads out from all there is in God. Now, this is a very different picture, isn't it? The Fillmores were spiritual seekers, also living at the same time, and they read everything that they could find out about this new way of thinking, this new thought. They had went to speakers. In those times, people traveled by train and buggies to give talks in towns, and there would be a speaker's circuit. And every time there was one of these speakers in their neighborhood, they would attend and learn and listen and be exposed to this new way of thinking. These were the pioneers who were really bringing the questions out that people had just not even thought about. They were just going along with what had always been. And these were the people that really stood out and questioned those beliefs. People like Henry David Thoreau and Emerson. But first, before we go into them, What I noticed, and if you do the reading on what these speakers were talking about, is that most commonly the topic was about health and healing. So picture this. At the time, tuberculosis was the number one cause of death, followed by cholera and typhus. Crowded housing and dirty water and dirty air, poverty were the main contributors to these early deaths. My mom grew up around this time. She was the daughter of Polish immigrants who came to New York City. My mom was born in Brooklyn, and they lived in one of these tenement housing places. And I remember that there was two things that I remember about her telling me about her childhood. One was that every summer, their family and many families would go to upstate New York and live on a farm. The parents would be working the crops, harvesting in the fields, and the children, like my mom, just got to run around, especially when they were quite young, barefoot, climbing trees, eating out of the garden, gathering the eggs from the chickens, drinking the milk from the cows. And she just remembers this is like heaven, the summers, where she had all this freedom. And of course, the reason also why these families would move to upstate New York is to give their children some clean air and some wholesome food. The rest of the year, my mom was inside, either at school or in their apartment. So at that time, boys were allowed to go play out on the street, and girls had to stay inside. But I guess my grandmother was a little progressive in that area, and she actually allowed my mom to sit out on the stoop, on the steps that led up to the apartment building. And this is one of my mother's joys from her childhood, is that she didn't have to stay in the apartment all the time, that she could actually go outside and sit on the steps. She was not allowed to play and run around like the boys did or go out onto the street, but she could sit outside. So what else was going on at this time? There were sanitariums that were opening up. And they were for the people who were wealthy. They could basically live in these places, spend a great deal of time in these places where they would be out in the fresh air, where they would be getting some exercise and some wholesome foods. Henry David Thoreau, as I mentioned before, did his experimental year at Walden Pond, writing about the health benefits of living close to nature. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of those new thinkers, said this: "The first wealth is health. The first wealth is health." So many of you know that the Unity movement started with a healing. That Myrtle Fillmore was in her 40s with tuberculosis and quickly declining. When she read and she listened to this new thought, it spoke to her in a deep way. She grabbed hold of that and wholeheartedly changed her mind, changed her thinking, and changed her life, which lasted not months, as predicted, but more than 40 more years. Myrtle said this: "Sometimes we pray to a God outside of ourselves. It is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals." Her insight came when she understood that as a child of God, she could not inherit sickness. This is what she had been told since she was a child, that she had inherited this tuberculosis from her mother and her aunts. So this new thought for Myrtle, as a child of God, I cannot be sick, this new thought of that there is one presence and that I am part of that presence, that there is no God that is outside or separate from me. This kind of new thinking grew and grew and rippled out. And now we see and are really living the results of that in 2020. So what does health look like in 2020? Well, we have over 100 years of people, scientists, health professionals, proving and documenting what Emerson, Thoreau, Emily Cady, and the Fillmores taught, the mind-body connection. These ideas are almost commonplace now. Doctors recognize that the treatment plan needs to include the whole person, not just the physical body. Hundreds of doctors have written books about their experiences with witnessing the healing power of prayer. It does matter what we think and what we believe, and our thinking needs to change all the time. It's important to explore who we think we are, and to remember that no matter how well we may think we know ourselves, we are always changing. Every day brings new experiences. Every day impacts us in a different way and causes it has an influence on us. So because that is happening on a daily basis, it's also really important that we develop our understanding of ourselves, and that also changes from day to day. Albert Einstein said, "Never lose a holy curiosity." I love that. A holy curiosity. What if this week we tried something new? What would happen if we incorporated just one new wholesome thing in our day? Here are a few ways you could do this. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, greet your body. Maybe even give it a hug. Take a few minutes to do a scan. I do this every morning, giving thanks for every system and every cell. Affirm, "Thank you for another day in this body temple." While washing, look into your eyes in the mirror. Notice the color and the intricacies of the iris. Notice the depth of your pupils, and send yourself some love. Appreciate your unique physical shape. The contours, the muscles, the bones. Stand up tall and take a deep breath. Feel it move throughout your entire body. Praise and bless your food. Bless the earth, the sun, the rain, the water, the air. Bless every hand that touched the food as it made its way to your plate. And add the light touch to your day. May Rowland, a former Silent Unity director, said this: "Our success lies not so much in how we handle the situation, but in how we handle ourselves. We are able to handle each situation that arises easily, smoothly, and harmoniously with the light touch, a touch of light." So I invite you to take one or more of these ideas, including the light touch, and incorporate them into your day this week. And now it's time for our prayer and contemplation.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
And now let's take time for prayer and contemplation. We bring ourselves into that still place within, the still point of the circle. In the stillness of prayer, we unify our mind within divine mind. We acknowledge the indwelling presence. My every thought is in harmony with divine love. My thought is in harmony with divine love. As I quiet my mind in prayer, I envision every thought bathed in divine love, the harmonizing power. Thoughts transform in the presence of harmonizing love. I am able to see a way where I thought there was no way. I am able to hold my heart open in generosity. I am able to lean in to the good and the just in a spirit of harmony. Let's hold this thought for a moment. My every thought is in harmony with divine love. I am a radiating center of spiritual peace and confident living. At the core of my being, I am peace. My peaceful mind swiftly calms turbulent thoughts so that I think clearly. My peaceful heart generously embraces my human family. In peace, I flow from moment to moment with purpose, passion, and persistence. I am divine peace. Let's hold that thought for a moment in the silence. I am divine peace. In every matter, I am guided by infinite intelligence. I have instant access to wisdom and understanding as I turn within. Every concern directed to divine wisdom transforms into guidance. Divine intelligence is an ever-present inner resource that I can count on in matters small and large. In every matter, I am guided by infinite intelligence. As we close this session of prayer, we breathe a breath of appreciation for the truth that renews and refreshes us. Knowing our oneness with God and knowing our divine faculties of harmony, life, peace, and intelligence, we proceed into the hours and the days ahead. Please join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Amen. I like to reserve this spot for messages from you. So please send me a message at info@Unity Comox Valley, something perhaps inspirational that you've read, or something that uplifted you, or a joke, or something humorous as well, so that I can share it next week. And now let's bring to mind a blessing of the week that we have experienced. Think about how you've been blessed and how you have been a blessing, because we know it's not a one-way street. It happens and it flows both ways. So bring to mind something that has lifted you up this week. And when we do this puts us in the flow of giving and receiving. And so I thank each one of you for being the light of the world. Thank you for your donations that you've sent to Unity Comox Valley. Thank you for being the love we are. So with gratitude in your hearts and minds, please join me in this affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. I spoke earlier about Emerson, and I found this beautiful blessing that I'd like to share with you. These are his words. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days. Smiles when sadness intrudes. Rainbows to follow the clouds. Laughter to kiss your lips. Sunsets to warm your heart. Hugs when spirits sag. Beauty for your eyes to see. Friendships to brighten your being. Faith so that you can believe. Confidence for when you doubt. Courage to know yourself. Patience to accept the truth. And love to complete your life. Have a great week. We'll close now with the peace song, Namaste. Here are some of the ways you can stay connected with your spiritual community. You can send a thought of the day. You can read the daily word. You can make a song request. If you don't know the title, just send a phrase or a couple of words and we'll find it for you. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter, which includes updates from Unity Comox Valley and also resources from all around the Unity movement. Email us at info@unitycomoxvalley.com. Write to me, to the board. We want to hear from you.